As you all know, as of late, I've been obsessed with the Blackmagic URSA Cine 12K. And while I'm hard at work at a super in-depth, like all around couple months in sort of video, in this video, I want to talk about the sensor and the actual footage that we're getting beyond tech specs and all this stuff. I have had the chance to shoot this in multiple different environments. And so in this video, I want to talk about 4 different lighting scenarios and how this sensor acts in them. This includes things like the worst time of day to shoot, like high noon sun. Now again, because this video isn't scientific and we're not talking really about specs, I'm going to be grading each of these clips to my own taste. And I'm going to be doing that with actually today's sponsor, which is Motion Array, because they have a bunch of different LUT packs that can work in any software. If you're interested in any of the packs that I use in this video, I'll have everything linked down in the description below. So first thing I'm actually going to do is download a couple different packs. I already have one on here. The first one that we'll check out with some of this horse footage, which we'll talk about more in a few minutes. This is the Nature Awaits pack. Let's see, what's some others that we want to test out. Looking at LUT packs is kind of like looking at fonts. Like you can just spend hours sifting through and being like, I want that. And Motion Array does make it super easy to download. Obviously you can go through and you just kind of hover your mouse over and you get a preview of the LUTs. And then once you dive in, it'll actually show you more details, like how many LUTs are included in the pack. Oh, a day to night pack. That could be kind of interesting to see. I think after this one, we're good. 1, 2, 3, 4, not including the one from yesterday, 5. To install them is super easy. We're just going to select them all. We're going to open these guys up. Project settings, color management, open LUT folder, and then inside here I'm just going to drag, hit update list. So now if we go under our color page, we go to LUTs, we will see Motion Array right here, and we're going to see all of our different LUT packs. All right, so now back to the camera and footage. Again, I've shot enough of different projects in these environments to where I feel like I have a decent sample size. Awesome scenery. I mean, we got horses, we have a model dressed up in kind of the badass outfit, cool desert location. Love everything about this, but it was the worst time of day to shoot. This was, I mean, hot, high noon. I've already graded all of these shots. These are coming out of the Nature Awaits. And if we go to our grade, and so this was actually the green world LUT that I used on here and obviously made corrections otherwise. We're like, when we look at this footage and we even zoom into the specular highlights, like this is nuts. The information fully there. Look at that, not clipped at all. All that information is still very much there. We jump to this shot right here. Like I wanted to see what it would look like shooting directly into the sun. Look how good this highlight roll off is. This is what 16 stops of dynamic range is going to get you. And of course, also a decent lens. All of these little hair fibers are still looking very clean. And yeah, obviously the sun is clipped, but we are getting so much detail in this image. If I could rack focus any faster, there we go. We didn't have any exterior lights. We did have a little mirror. Where is it? Where is it? There we go. Here's our boy. He's holding up this like Godot's mirror thing to bring in some of the light again in this in the face. We do get some color shifting in the ND. You can see this is like the strongest ND on there compared to when we're more open. Like you can see the sky just feels different, and we can compensate this with more exposure, tinting tweaks, stuff like that. But I know a lot of people get really nitpicky about like the higher NDs if there is any sort of color shift. And to me, it's not bad at all. I've used some really cheap high NDs, and we all know what it looks like when it's like totally magenta or something when you switch to those really high NDs. So in terms of high noon situations, we have this. We also have, when we go to my Italy footage, so here's another great high noon shot of Kofi. This shot is hard. I mean, there are 0 lights, 0 bounce, 0 anything. I'm in full documentary mode. We have darker skin tones. He's got a hat, which is going to shade the top part of his face even more. And even though it looks like there's some clouds up here, trust me, when I convert this, you'll be like, wow, that looks pretty bright. And so if I just do my Gen 5 to extended video, there's our normal conversion. I'm going to color correct this a bit. All right, so to me, this is looking pretty decent for like super basic color correction and getting it to a usable spot. Now let's go try some of these Motion Array LUTs. Most of the time I tend to like subtle LUTs, nothing that's like drastically taking over. Kind of like in this one. Now if we just use the power of Windows, On Windows computers, if I was really producing this clip, I would probably darken the background a bit more, use more power windows, and then do a face tracking power window to bring up his face to a proper level. But even just for the 45 seconds that I spent creating this image, I think this looks great. And I actually really like this cinematic look number 8. I'm gonna favorite that guy. You can get other cameras to look like this. The difference that I'm finding with the URSA Cine is what you need to achieve the image that you want, right? Like if I wanted to get a shot like this on a much lower dynamic ranged camera, you are going to need diffusion, you're going to need flags, or of course you're going to have to wait for a different time of day, because a lot of these shots, like if we go to day 1 Italy, right, overcast days are super easy because any camera can really look like this camera. If you have overcast, you almost have nothing to worry about, but it also presents a cool opportunity to try all these day for night LUTs, because day for night is more easily achieved in overcast. And that's because you don't have like crazy harsh shadows everywhere. Like you can see everywhere on them, on the sun, on the sky, on the trees. There's not too many harsh, intense shadows. All these shadows are really soft. So I'm actually really curious. I've never done a lot of successful day for night. These are all looking really harsh right off the bat. This one's probably the closest. If you often do day for night, I would love some tips on how I'm supposed to manipulate the image, or like how you guys get the best results for that. Yeah, okay, I can see it. This definitely looks more dusky. With some more work, this is definitely more passable for blue light. I like this. It's good to keep in the back pocket. So yeah, anyway, soft light, overcast lighting, super easy. That's why we're not really talking about it too much, but I did just want to do this fun little experiment. All right, since we're already here, let's talk about actual low light. All right, so this shot right here, pretty cool shot of getting the monster coming out of the water. This shot we can see in our raw data. It was shot at 3200 ISO. And so if we go in, say it with me now, color correction. We're definitely having, if we look at his blackjack right here, we are definitely getting some chroma noise. So this camera is not a low light king. This is not meant to be a Sony killer or whatever you want to call it. There's going to be some noise. The nice thing is I find it cleans up really quite well. So if we go into our noise reduction here, and usually I hover around 4 and 5 for the heavier stuff. If we want to go in and do more, I'm going to unlink these. And rather than Luma, I'm going to take away more chroma, because you can see it takes away that chroma noise. You guys may not be able to see it with YouTube compression, but when I turn this back on, his jacket definitely gets more black. The water's a bit more clear, doesn't have as much of that little chroma noise. It's subtle, but it counts. What should we add on this one? Dark night LUTs. Oh, night vision. Cool, let's go with that. These LUTs are a little too strong for my liking. Let's try more of these cinematic LUTs. All right, so look number 6 here. I think it's fitting for what the BTS of the scene is. It's a little strong, which is why a lot of people don't, I think, realize what you can do in Resolve, which is just to dial down a node. It's essentially like a blend mode or lowering the opacity of a node. And so all you're going to do is go right here down to this little icon for your key. And then we're going to change our key output. Right now it's set to gain, which is, 1 or basically 100%. And we're just going to dial this down. If you go all the way down to 0, you'll basically see what our original image looks like. There's nothing on it. And then we can just dial it up, right? So we can see that's 100, maybe like 60% more my vibe. So you can see there, it's just like a subtle little additive. Yeah, and that looks pretty cool. Again, we're in the subjective bit. If you don't like it, that's fine. I don't care. I'm just really impressed with the low light footage that this camera can give. Like, this is 800, fully wide open, definitely blue hour just after the sun has finished going down. Let's look at one more low light footage here. So we have the shot, again, 3200 ISO. And let's add a nature awaits. All right, listen, I'm actually liking this cherry blossom. It's kind of bringing some of those reds back out, which of course we could do a little bit with tint, but I just like the other characteristics that it was bringing into the image. Add some more contrast, add a little bit of saturation back in. What's actually mostly bothering me here is the rotation. Silly me did not film that straight. So again, when shooting with low light, I think you have to manage your expectations for what this camera is. But I think if you are like run and gun documentary style, you can still get a pretty good image as long as you have some amount of light source. I think this camera is going to struggle if you have like no light source at all. So when it comes to mixed lighting, I have two shots here that I want to take a peek at. So this one is from NAB, the show floor. Now, this is a model in one of the booths, so she does have some like set lighting on her, right? She mostly just has a backlight, and then I think there were some panel lights kind of up top, out of frame up here. But for the most part, we're in the Vegas Convention Center, so there's a lot of mixed lights being powered here. And I think in terms of just getting a natural look, like this shot, I didn't really go stylistically with. This is just a very basic conversion. You can actually see there's no LUTs on this. I literally did a color space transform. I think the message that we're seeing throughout this video is you just get so much latitude, so much playroom with this, and that is what is so fun. Oh, why is number 8? There's a reason I favorited this one. I am liking this look. Again, it needs some work to it, needs some contrast. I was gonna leave this shot as like just what it is, but cinematic look number 8, killing it. So good. Okay, the second one, this one, please do not judge the camera movement. Okay, this was actually the first time that I got a loaner 12K, and this was like 20 minutes before I had to send it back. But I just had this idea of like, what would it look like if you ran through a house that has all sorts of mixed lighting, and then you try to cut to looking out the window. Now, it wasn't high noon, it was later in the afternoon, so it wasn't as much of a lighting differential. Yeah, so I mean, nothing about this shot looks really great. Actually, this brings up a good point. Like, everything about this shot looks terrible, right? Like, it's not a good location, it's not good lighting, it's not good composition, it's not good camera movement. Proof that all of those things are extremely important regardless of camera you have. This is, you know, a $10,000 camera setup or whatever. And if you throw out all your knowledge of filmmaking and just start running around aiming it at things, expecting it to look like a movie, it is not going to. And so that's what I'm gonna chalk this clip up to be, and not even gonna continue this test because this is just a bad mixed lighting test, and I'm sorry. Overall, I continue to be amazingly impressed by the image that I'm able to get out of this. Mostly when it comes to the dynamic range in harsh sunlight. This is just a scenario I have always avoided and hating filming in, and just have always required so much extra gear. But yeah, I didn't really even talk about resolution in this video because that is like the least like cool thing about this camera. Yes, it's incredibly sharp. Some of this is 12K footage, some of it is 8K footage. But as always, I would love to hear what you guys think about the camera, the footage. Let me know down in the comments below. And again, huge shout out to Motion Ray for sponsoring this video. I mean, how cool is it that you can go into one account and just have access to so many different LUT packs that you can download, easily install, and try out for yourself, and not have to like buy a bunch of individual different LUT packs here. So give them some love, check them out in the link in the description, help support the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.